Hello, the internet, and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday, the 12th of October, 2019, and today I will be live for 72 minutes. 72 minutes. Now, I've got a little confession to make to you before we begin. It's a strange one. I get a little bit nervous coming on these live streams. I'm just putting it out there. You know my 10-minute lockdown. Okay, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Well, I go through and do my preparations. I prepare my hotel room. I prepare my pajamas. Isn't that funny that we've had two different people reference me living basically in a hotel room on D-Live, and we've had, back in the day, we had Creaky kind of trying to put me down by making jokes about my attire, saying I was streaming in my pajamas. I think that's a little funny connection. But you see, what you don't see whilst I get prepared there, I'm in there, and usually it's a little gross, but usually I'm coughing up, like spitting up things and clearing my nose out, refreshing my glass of water here, taking a final sip so my vocal cords are nice and relaxed, and I get a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I get a little, but I've got to stipulate, it's just here on the YouTube machine. I don't get nervous when I go live on D-Live. I was trying to think why this might be the case. Like, what is it about YouTube streaming that makes me nervous? And as I was fiddling with my hair, trying to make it look as presentable as possible, I came up with the idea that there's a bunch of factors on YouTube at play that aren't at play on D-Live. By the way, did I mention I've got a D-Live account? If you're not following me on D-Live, the link is in the chat. Go and have a look. That's the first time I've mentioned D-Live today on the stream. I'll be mentioning it a lot more. Let me tell you about it. I was thinking that there's a bunch of things at play here on YouTube, especially because of my streaming setup, and I'm not going to talk about this. It seems to be working fine today, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But you know, I use Wirecast here to stream to YouTube, and I use OBS to stream to D-Live. Well, there's inherently a lot of issues that can go wrong with Wirecast, and I guess that makes me nervous because I've got the show to deliver, I've got the content to deliver, and I'm sort of half in the back wondering, is the software going to work today, you know? So there's that amount of nerves. The other thing is, I just feel like there might be a little more pressure here on YouTube to deliver something. Maybe that's not the right way to direct the words, but the concept of live streaming here on YouTube is more of a, let's call it a well-honed, well-oiled machine, if you like. Like, live streaming's been around for a long time on YouTube, whereas D-Live itself, and I'm just using D-Live as an example. You might be, if in your situation, you might be streaming to Twitch or Mixer or something, but I'm doing D-Live and YouTube. And because it's new on D-Live, there's less of not a requirement, there's less of like this outward pressure on you to like, well, you've seen other dudes doing really good live streams, so I want to match that, and that takes pressure, that puts pressure on you, right? I will say hello to the chat. I just want to deliver this first, and you know, we've got 72 minutes now on these streams, so I'm sort of easing into the content. I'm trying to tie the content together to how I feel right now. We're going to eventually talk about Mr. Casey Neistat and other YouTubers who do not live stream and why that might be the case, but we will get to that. So, you see me on D-Live, right? Like, I come out, and I tell you, I've got no nerves on D-Live. I'll just come out every day, deliver the content, have a good time, have a fun time, and when it's done, it's done. But here on YouTube, and it might just be my thing as well, it's because of I've set this up this way. Like, I've decided that every stream is going to be a minute longer than the next, and for me to do that, I've actually queued up a delay timer within Stream Deck that literally goes through and basically runs my stream hands free. I don't do a thing. There's always that complication that, did you put the right millisecond count in? So what's 72 minutes in milliseconds minus your intro and outro and any potential drop frames that may have occurred? There's a lot at play here. So on D-Live, I just hit the start and it counts me down from a 2-minute point. And at that point, that's perfect because it gives me a chance to pop out the live stream, the chat, get my secondary computer set up, get ready for my and all that crap. But here on YouTube, it's like, it's go, go, go. My intro only lasts for like not even 12 seconds, and then I'm on, and I don't know if it's worked. You know, like, you know how there's a delay in the stream? Like, I'm watching the stream here on my phone. This is a separate Wi-Fi connection, so I watch what you guys see. And as I'm doing my hello the internet, I'm kind of half looking down there, and when you see that stream hasn't changed to the stream, it's still on the thumbnail, it's like, what's going on? What's going on? Did this not work? Is YouTube not receiving the data? And that's my fault, because my intro piece, you know, it does the a minute longer than that's not long enough to cover the buffer. Now maybe I should rejig that, but in my mind, I'm gonna let it happen for the first 100 streams, and then we'll change it on the 101th. You know me and numbers. I'm a dickhead. Self-confessed dickhead. Now look, let me say hello to the chat. I want to read up there. I want to go back up to the top here. So the chat began this morning with Hendrik saying, good morning, the internet. And by the way, when I look over there, I know the GH5 loses focus. It's a hideous machine, isn't it? You'd think that it would stay focused on the last plane that it was on, but if I turn my head, it suddenly has to search again. It's pretty crazy. But that's just the nature of the GH5. I apologize on its behalf. Apologies from Panasonic Lumix for the GH5's autofocus. DLE Crystal Gaming jumped in with me and him, had a good chat. He's actually feeling a little sick, but he doesn't know what he's got. Don't it always go that you don't know what you've got until you've got it? DLE Gaming, good to see you over from the D-Live. I hope you feel better soon, dude. I said you better get that checked out because he doesn't know what he's got, you know? Then me and him were chit-chatting. Faffy Day jumped in. Faffy Day, welcome to the Gives a Minute D-Live. Welcome to the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. That's the first time I've done that today. Hopefully it's the last time. What's up? Faffy in the house. Not from MJ. Mindy says, when I feel sick, I dose some Jack Daniels chocolate. Know where I can get some. She's making a direct reference to my daily vlog where I talked about, will I do a review of the Jack Daniels chocolates, just like I do the reviews of the Jack Daniels alcohol, like liquor, cola, all the Jack Daniels, right? I was thinking, should I just hoe into that? By the way, Adrian Banks, thank you for that hamper from last week. I was thinking, do I just eat the chocolate and enjoy the chocolate? Maybe not. Maybe I should do a review. And the review will be taking that chocolate and a bottle of whatever that Jack is. There's 2 varieties. I'll show you them. There's 2 varieties of Jack Daniels chocolates here. There's the Irregulation Old Number 7. Now, obviously, when I review this, I'll take a bottle of Old Number 7 just for... Well, I like alcohol. I love Jack Daniels. I love Old Number 7. And it wouldn't be right? It wouldn't be right if I didn't review that with a bottle of Jack. And then, when it comes down to the white chocolate from Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey style, I'll grab a bottle of Tennessee Honey. And that'll be how I'll do that. I'll put that daily vlog out, and the consensus is yes. I haven't actually seen the comments yet because I've been busy uploading to the Gives a Minute D-Live archive. I've been putting all my D-Live streams up on the secondary channel, and it's, you know, each stream's like 3.5, 4 hours long, so it takes a while for those to upload. But we'll get to that in another stream. So there you go. Hey Mindy, I haven't checked. Okay, but we're talking about that. And I asked, is there a Jack Daniels Fire chocolate? You know that these are like the honey and the fire are 2 separate liqueurs. Well, is there a fire chocolate? And that being said, is there now an apple chocolate? There's an apple liqueur out there, only available in America, not in Australia, unfortunately. So maybe there's an apple chocolate, maybe there's a fire chocolate out there. We'll have to find that out ourselves. And I said, imagine a cider one. Imagine a winter Jack chocolate. That stuff was horrible. And then Mindy suggested maybe Casey, which is about the conversation topic, which we'll get to. Maybe he has stage fright. I was kind of thinking, is that possible that he has stage fright? He does a lot of delivering content to a live audience, so you would think sitting on a stage taking questions from an audience would dictate he doesn't have any kind of stage fright. But good point there in the chat, Mindy, good point. I said, then she said, maybe he's tried streaming early on and had a bad experience. Now, there is that to consider. Has he had a bad experience with streaming? I don't know. Paula Erdbeer jumps in with a comment. Paula said, did you see the Vice video from yesterday, Reed Berlin? I didn't see it, and I would love to be able to watch it, but here on YouTube, that ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is another factor. I would love to be able to consume content on YouTube in the stream and talk about it. social commentary, right? But you always hear from the likes of H3H3 that they get dinged. Always, no matter how much commentary they make, they get dinged. So unfortunately, we're going to just use this as this stream is going to be for me and you to connect through the chat. And today, by the way, folks, today, I hope this works. I'm going to open up the Discord. I don't have my laptop yet, but I'm going to open up the Discord for call-ins. So this might not work. I'm gonna say I know Wirecast is a little bit finicky with audio, and so is the Mac in general. But I've tested it with my own vocal, and I think it's gonna work. So today's gonna be a free-form discussion with call-ins, which I'll put. If you're not on the D Live on the Discord, I'll give a link in due course. Right now, we're still just getting through the preliminary stages of the stream, and I'm working on getting over my nerves. I'm being honest, eh? Like, my feet when I get nervous. My feet start twitching and they go together. Like my feet go and I cross my toes over and stuff. And man, I've been digging grooves in my feet right now. I am physically nervous doing this for you. It's so strange. I don't get it. I recognize it. I don't get it, but I recognize it. It's very strange. I guess, you know what? Also, I cop a lot of crap from people. So it's like you're always on guard, right? It's always like you want to stay true to yourself, but you want to be aware that what you say is more than likely going to be used against you in some way, shape, or form, like it was this week, you know? Unbelievable. Paula was a little sleepy. He's going to head to La La Land. I'm going to try to make this stream affable so that you don't go to sleep, Paula. Okay. And it says I banned links in the chat. Well, I've not done that. I've never made a request to not allow linky poos in the chat. But then again, I gotta say, perhaps that's a good thing because heaven forbid, you know, Nigeras comes over from D Live and starts pumping links, right? You know what I'm saying? Nigeras. So I didn't choose that. Maybe that's a default YouTube setting. You'd have to ask Viva Fry about that in those default settings on YouTube. He's having a rough time, isn't he? I got to say something about that though. Here's my thought about Viva Fry. His channel has popped, and all accolades, all praise to the man. He's honed his content. He's honed his niche content. He's gone from, well, I recall when he was at 40,000 subs, pushing for 50, so he could open up memberships, and it seemed like he went from 50 to 100, where he got his play button, or he applied for his play button. I don't even know if he's got it yet, but that went very quick. And now he's complaining that the growth has slowed. I don't want to sound arrogant, dude, or I don't want to sound like I'm having a crack or trying to chip you off at the top, but you went from 50 to 100 in a couple of months, and now you're complaining that that's slowing down. I don't know, dude. It seems like you've done really well, and just take it and be appreciative, you know? I don't know. That's my take. You may use that against me, and you may say, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Didn't your mother tell you that when you were, go and ask her. Man, I can't. And by the way, AVA made another podcast where they talked about me in a snide way. And this is the thing that kills me, right? This is not going to be the content of this stream, but I've made my position 100% clear. I've made my accusations about what Jay did 100% categorically clear. No ambiguity, no hiding behind anything. I've told it directly what I feel, what I think he did wrong. Yet we still see snide comments from all of that crew leveled at me, when all I'm saying is, I don't think you did the right thing. You didn't do the right thing in my mind. And that means that we lose all of our friendships and we lose our creator cast without him saying anything to me. But now we still get these snide little backhanded jabs. There was one on the podcast where he said, even Danny was like, oh, don't mention D-Live. It's like, it's not don't mention D-Live. They're trying to say don't mention Benon and D-Live, because Benon will then talk about it. And you know what, man? If you've got something to say to me, freaking well say it. Don't hide behind these little jabs. And then Jay got in my chat with a stupid comment. Get out of here. I've been thinking about that the last few days, and it's like, I'm not doing that. You might say, well, you've said some things about Jay. I've said them very, very clearly. I've said exactly what I think he did wrong. There is no chance of, I wonder what Benon thinks about that. He said it. He put it out there. These guys are hiding behind crap and making little inward jokes at me, little stabs all the time. And maybe that's why I'm nervous, because I feel like whatever I do, there's going to be this little jab. You can be authentic, you can be right, you can be upfront with your friends, you can be straight down the line, and there'll still be a jab coming your way. That's not right. Now I got off track. That wasn't what I was going to talk about, but I did see that secondary stream and I was like, you guys are still going with this crap? Far out. I say bring back Creator Cast and let's have the four of us have this discussion. Or end it. Or either that or just stop this crap entirely. Far out. In the chat, Tim Arscott jumped in. Hello, Mindy. Hello, Paula. Welcome, Tim. Good to see you. And everyone's chatting. Adrian Banks was in the chat. Adrian, hello. Morning all. Hendrik said, had a ball at the protest last night. We did. Yeah, you said that on the D live stream too. Cool. Adrian Banks says he was thinking of Steve Van yesterday when he tried to start his 1966 Holden. Hadn't been cranked in 4 weeks. Battery was dead. Skull symbol. Well, my battery drains about that same time. But by the way, I did purchase a little battery isolator switch from eBay. It cost me $7. When that arrives, I'm gonna pop that on the battery terminal, and then you screw down or screw up to make the connection or loosen the connection. When I pull up to here and not going to use Steve Van for a 2-week period, pull it up, no battery drain. That's going to be my resolution for my issues. I wish I could use the same concept for other issues I've got in my life. I want a HD front underskirt so I can fit fog lights in the indicator holes. Fair enough. You want a high dimension front skirt? Okay. They're talking about cars, of which I know nothing, so I can't really join in on that one. Looking further down, many good memories as a kid in a Holden, especially the smell of the vinyl seats, sound of the motor, and the auto trans. Do you remember getting in the car back in the day? We had a Valiant, a big station wagon Valiant, and in the back was all of our beach gear. We'd drive down to Cronulla Beach as kids, and you'd hop in that car on those vinyl seats, and your sweat would stick to the back, and then you'd go for the seatbelt buckle, and it would be absolutely boiling hot. Like you could almost cook a freaking egg on there. It was that hot, and you'd be like trying to close the buckle without touching it, but invariably it'd hit your thigh or your arm, and it'd be just the craziest burn. Fun times as children. Tim says, I'm feeling older than today I did last Saturday though. Okay. A Tashley Hughes. Hi from the UK. Well, a Tashley, hi from Australia. Everyone gets a cheers when they join the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. How do you do? Ashley, good to see you. What made you pop in here on the YouTube chat? How did you hear about this? But it's nice to have you here. Michael, hello one and all. Mindy, hi Ashley. Everyone's saying hi. Tim had a HG Kingswood wagon, 86, 183, okay. Tashley's hasn't been here since 9-minute streams. Wow, we've been moving along. Would you believe we've gone a minute longer each stream? And now we're at 72. Nice to see you back, Tashley. I didn't recognize your handle. Was it the same handle back there on the 9-minute stream? I don't recall. I could go back and watch that, but I won't have time right now because I'm live streaming. Benny Crawford, good morning or good evening all. Benny, good to see you, man. Hendrik says, I've been asked to go to PAX today. I wonder if there are any D-livers there. PAX is... What is PAX? I'm not sure what PAX is. I've heard of it. Zexity. Hello, Zexity. Welcome to the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. How do you do? Everyone gets a cheers when they join the chit chat. That cheers is for you. How do you do? Asti, the edits are part of the entertainment factor. They're edits. Okay. Paula talks about YouTube. You know you're competing with pro amateurs and mass media. On D-Live, you're competing with lolly socks. It's true. Now, I know Duncan's not here on the YouTube. He doesn't do the YouTube. Oh, he has done, but probably not today. He could be in the chat. I'll get to that in a second. But Duncan made the most brilliant comment about lolly socks. He's like, this gentleman on D. If you're not sure who lolly socks is, he wants to be the best streamer, the biggest streamer, the most famous streamer, but he has no content aside from dressing up as a girl and a fascination for anime. That's his only thing, right? That's his thing. Dressing in female clothing and loving anime. Hentai porn is what it basically is, which we've discovered is the The unhealthy obsession with Japanese female schoolgirls. That's what this gentleman's into. That's his thing, and he wants to be the biggest and best streamer. And he's been barred from D Live. Well, this is the third time now. He went to Twitch. He got banned straight away. He's barred on YouTube. He's another couple more days, then he gets back on YouTube for live streaming. But then he went to Mixer for streaming, but you got to wait for a stream key, a couple of weeks or something. So then he went to Pornhub for live streaming, which, by the way, I haven't researched yet, but I understand you can live stream on Pornhub, not necessarily porn content. So it could be a viable platform. I'm still going to look into it. I haven't actually had the chance to go and look at Pornhub in a little while, but I will. But I won't do it here, and I won't do it on DLive. I'll do it on my own, and I'll report back. Even just having that in the title, live streaming on Pornhub, ? On YouTube, that'll be demonetized straight away. So Lolly Socks got banned from all that stuff. And Duncan had a great comment. He said, "This gentleman has nothing to say, and he says it with his mouth full." And that's reference to him streaming whilst eating dinner, right? He comes in to do his live stream on DLive, and he's hoeing down his food. It's like, man, are you seriously going to deliver content to your audience whilst you're eating dinner? Either eat dinner earlier or eat dinner later. Don't let that crap ruin your stream. I don't want to see this kid eating dinner in freaking women's clothing with massive hentai porn behind him. Just terrible content. But anyway, he's been barred again. And now the hashtag is RIP Lollysocks. Pretty funny. Okay, looking further down the chats, is Lollysocks still on DLive? No, he's not. So Paula, no, we read that, sorry. Asti, their podcasts are better examples of how they would come across live as unedited. This is in direct. So Tashley's directly answering the question: why does Casey Neistat not stream live? We'll get to that, but the comment was their podcasts are a better example of how they'd come across live, as they're often unedited. Yeah, I agree with that. Tim says hello to Hendrik. Benny Crawford, hi Hendrik. Banksy, what's up? Okay, everyone's saying hello. Cool. Ashley, Adrian Banks, lollies and stuff store in Windsor, heaps of JD chocolate. Oh, okay. What flavors, Adrian? What flavors have they got there? Ashley, Casey was a part of making the Beam app, which was to live stream. That's true. Of your life. It was a cool thing, but maybe ahead of its time. Very true, Ashley. I hadn't thought of that. He did make that app. And he did live content on there. But I guess the actual question, like, I'm not like discrediting that comment because it's very valid, but the question is, why aren't they doing it on YouTube? As one of the bigger creators here on YouTube, why is he declining to use a part of the package? Is what I'm saying. It's almost like saying he disabled comments. Why would the biggest creator disable comments on the platform, right? Why would the biggest creator not use a part of the platform, the live streaming part? But we'll get to it. Steve Dalzia, hey Gibbs, how you doing this morning? Good to see you, Steve Dalzia. Nice to have you here, man. From the DLive, cool dude. Realized Jay was on an account that was 2 minutes old. Realized that Jay was on an account that was 2 minutes old. Well, Jay, you're talking about DLive when Jay made that comment. Jay does have a profile on DLive, which I followed at the beginning thinking he was going to start creating. And then I unfollowed because we all know the hashtag support creators. If you're not creating, I'm not supporting you. So that's why I unfollowed DLive Danny. If he comes back and starts creating content, I'll go back and follow DLive Danny. But if you're not going to create content, you're not a creator, I'm not going to support you. I'll support all the creators on DLive, but I won't support someone who's not creating. That's why I unfollowed DLive Ensby, because he walked away from the platform, slamming the door behind him, telling us all how bad it was, using me as the example. And that's where that stream was born from. I let everybody know why Mark was wrong and why the things he stipulated about me, and in particular earnings on DLive, was incorrect. If you're going to come out, and this is directly to Mark Ensby, if you're going to come out with accusations and speculations about someone else, you better have your facts right. And there's no point correlating your requirements and your life situation with someone else's. You can do that in terms of what you earn and what you perceive on DLive, but for the love of everything that's good, do not put yourself in someone else's shoes and then make a judgment call on why the platform is wrong because you don't perceive what this person does as to be something suitable for you. You're not the one doing it, so it's not suitable for you because it's not intended for you. If you were me, I could make that decision. I could make that call. And that's why I clarified everything on that stream and then got all the shit for it. Unbelievable. Okay, seatbelts are like branding irons. That's the word I was going for, a branding iron. Pretty funny. Tim says, Adrian Banks, if you have an Aldi near you, they've got battery chargers at $30. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. You talked about that to me, Tim, too, in the private chat. PAX is a gaming convention, not unlike VidCon. Oh, okay. 186 is the motor size. Oh, okay. 86 cubic inches to convert to metric, divide cubic inch. Okay. There you go, Adrian. Thanks for that, man. Paula Erdbeer says, gives a minute after dark edition. Oh, this stream? Right, yeah. Well, maybe when this stream gets long enough, we could move into the After Dark edition. Oh, you mean the Pornhub stuff? Okay, I gotcha. Adrian Banks, I'll check it out. Tim, good shortcut conversion. I do it the long way. Oh, Random, guess who's back? Random's back. Random, good to see you in the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. How do you do? Good afternoon, my friend. Brockneck's in the house all the way from Alaska Town. Hello, Alaska. Hello, Brockneck's. Look, this is how you can tell I'm nervous. There's crap all over my glass, and I hadn't cleaned it. Adrian Banks says, Lolly and stuff sell JD honey chocolate and standard JD and chocolate. Okay, so you haven't seen anything else. Jay used a totally new profile on DLive. Oh, was that? But it was Jay Boston. Like, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter if it doesn't matter what profile he used, but it was Jay Boston. Unless you're saying it wasn't Jay Boston. But you can go back and have a look at that stream at your own leisure. Mark Ensby comes up as a suggested friend on Facebook. Well, we see, that's the thing. This is the thing I don't get about it. We did have a conversation, Mark and I, which is kind of strange. Like, the conversation we really need to have is between Jay and I. But Mark and I have had a conversation and we've leveled things. I said, I think what he did. This is what I don't get about Mark Ensby. When the crap went down on CreatorCast, Mark also obviously took the position that best mate. I'm just seeing some drop frames there. Mark obviously took the position that best mate Danny and Jay took, and he also walked away from CreatorCast and in effect walked away from my channel, from Gives a Minute. Now, I always said to him, I said, what's with that, man? And he says, well, I don't like the direction you've headed in. I don't like the content. I don't like what you're doing, and therefore I'm walking away. Okay, we've seen that before. We've seen it recently on DLive. Well, okay, that's cool. See you later. It's not really cool, but if that's how you treat a friend, then that's cool if that's how you do it. See you later. But then after a period of months, he came back. Literally just came back to the channel, started commenting. And I was like, I don't want to be rude about this, man, but why are you back here? Like, what's changed? Like, my content hasn't changed. My position on the whole Jay situation hasn't changed. In fact, nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is time has moved on. I'm still delivering the same content that you walked away from before. So something's changed in your head to tell you that Gives a Minute, Benon is okay again. Let's go back over and start supporting him. I was like, I just want to know what it is, man, because I haven't done anything different. I'm still the same Gives a Minute, but yet I'm okay now. Very strange. But Mark is a very strange man, I got to say. Mark is a very strange man, and you see that from the stream that he did on AVA the other day. He has zero. This is just for shits and giggles, but he has a terrible musical knowledge, which is not anything nefarious. But when he starts talking about something that he doesn't know about, my goodness gracious, man, it was a funny stream. But look, I've waffled on and I've read the chat. Let's pull the chat up here so that you guys can see it. We've got a chat that's rolling correctly here, which is fine. I appreciate that on Wirecast. We never know whether this is going to actually happen on Wirecast. Happy Lux with the smiling face. Mindy, I wonder if they feel they need you. That's a very interesting point, Mindy. I've got something to address with that. I made a decision after this blew out of proportion, when all this crap went down. I made a decision in my head to never appear on any of their channels. So that includes all of Danny Black's channels, present and future, whatever they may be, whatever Mark Ensby does. I don't think he does the right stuff anymore, which was a good show, except that it wasn't live. He needs to do it live. When I say live, he pre-recorded everything and then rolled it as clips, but that's another story. Obviously Jay Boston, Scotty YouTube. Oh man, I'm seeing drop frames here. Folks. I'm just going to pause until this comes back. It will come back. It's just the nature of 4G connection. I see it there. I'm just going to pause until it does come back. I see dropped frames 20. I see 5 drop frames. I'm just going to pause. I know you might not see it, but I can see it, and I just want to make sure. Okay, it's back now. It's back now. So I made that decision not to appear on any of those channels, and I also made the decision not to have any of that crew appear on my channel. Now, the reason I did that was because I don't want to be associated with any of that stuff under the disguise that everything's happy times again, when everything's not happy times again. And the only way we can be happy times again is if Jay Boston comes to me and says, dude, this is why I left CreatorCast. This is why I think you're a dick. And this is why I don't agree with what you said to me. But as a human and as a fellow creator, I recognize we can all have our disagreements and we can all still be friends, because I never did anything to unfriend the guy. I criticized his handle and his attack on YouTube, but that became a friend thing, which it never was. It became a disagreement between friends. So if that ever got resolved, then yes, all of that stuff could come back. But in my mind, it has to happen on CreatorCast, which is where it ended. That's where it should come back. So that's my thoughts. Mindy says, looks good here. Yeah, I could just see the signal going from green to yellow. It goes from green to yellow to orange to red. When it's in the red, it ain't good. But that's just the nature of a 4G connection. So, but Mindy said, I wonder if they feel like they need you. It's a strange thing because I definitely don't need them. But they're my friends, or they were my friends. And that was the network we were building. So in a sense, out of a friendship, I need that. But in another sense, out of growing a channel, I don't need that. I've got a secondary audience, which I've built myself. I don't need them to give it. We'll just wait for that to come back. I know it might not be all that bad. There you go, we're back. So, we're back to red. Beautiful, great. 4G connection, huh? Love it. 2020 is the NBN availability here in Culburra Beach. 2020. Can you believe it's gone on that long? I think I first started talking about the NBN in 2017 here at Culburra Beach. 2020, and it's still going to be crap. Yeah, that was my decision. That's my decision process, and that's how I've settled with this thing. But what I've discovered, and the more it's moved on, and the more snide little comments, and the more little jabs that I see, it's almost like me saying, "Far out, is this going to never end? Are we never going to get to a point where you can say, yep, you disagree with what he did, he disagreed with what you did? Cool." That's called an argument. That's the best thing about life. You don't have to all agree on everything. That's what makes us all different. You might like Winter Jack by Jack Daniels. I hate it. I'm going to love the Red Dog when I open it. You may hate the Red Dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's different, but I get given all kinds of crap. Paula Erdby says, thanks, Malcolm. I didn't see what Malcolm said. But folks, let's move on to the super quick wave a day edits, and that's going to tie into something additional here. Before we do that, though, I want to pop in the Discord, in the chat, the Discord link for today. Now, if you get that link, that's a one-off link to jump into Discord. And when you're in Discord, you will then be able to jump on the voice call line, right? The voice call line is called... It's called the Gives a Minute YouTube call-in line. Now, I'm not there yet, and I'll get in there when I go after this pre-roll. But that's where you can talk to me. The only criteria is, and you can have the discussion about the topic, the only criteria I have is if you're watching the stream, either put the stream in one headphone so that we can't hear it, or mute the stream entirely so you'll just hear my voice. You won't hear the stream. So you'll almost be 9 seconds ahead of everybody else if you like. The chat will be a little bit delayed for you like it is for me, but that's so that we don't get a double up. So there's the link. Come chat with us in the Discord. The NBN. Oh, thanks, Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm Turnbull. I got you for the NBN joke. I got you, Paula. Sorry, I missed that. But I want to show you my super quick wave a day edit from yesterday. This is the surfing content that's going to make it to the YouTube channel tonight on a wave a day. And it looks something a little like this. Welcome back to the super quick wave a day edit. As you can see, very similar conditions to yesterday. And I didn't do too well again today. I struggled to paddle, I struggled to stay in line with the beach cam. I got a couple of rides, but nothing really that spectacular. But you know me, I don't want to be the judge. How about you decide?
used a rip to get me out here, but I didn't pick the optimum time to jump in the water, and I got smashed with a couple of shore breaks. But then there was a very long section of kind of like nothing, and the rip just took me straight out.
Like a ghost in a dream, burn like the solar.
Oh, there's a wave. Wave number one. Oh, what's this? Should have taken this one. Ow. Look at that. Looks like I had a little bit of a ride to the right too. Alright. Well, that's one. That's first wave. Next wave will be better. So my second wave was a fail as well. Not really a fail, just possibly the wrong wave selected by me. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I'm falling from the edge of the world.
I don't know, I mean, I've had a couple of rides, they haven't been that terrific. When I looked out here before I came out, didn't I say it's going to be difficult to get a long ride, like a decent ride? A lot of closeouts. How did I do? I mean, either way, I'm completely exhaust fanned. My arms feel like lead. I'm pretty in shape for a person, but that was struggle town. I'm going to admit that. That was very, very difficult. Now, while I go upstairs, take a shower, sit back and try to get my breath back, you guys can go back to the live stream.
Oh yeah, tuck it in, grabbing rail, flying down the lineup, whoop, 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 surfing, hang 5, hang 10. Oh shit, man, I'm back. Sorry folks, I was a little carried away there, just getting my warm-ups for my wave a day today. Gonna be surfing in about 40 minutes and I'm getting pumped for it. Now I'm seeing some dropping frames right now. Oh no, no, no! Crikey. I'm just gonna wait for the frames to come back. I see they're back. Now, by the way, folks, yes, I do run that kind of star jumps. Yes, Benny, no star jumps. I still haven't fixed that light fitting, by the way, but there'll be no star jumps, I can guarantee you. That wave a day, that super quick wave a day, as you could probably tell, kind of a little bit rough out there, right? Big swell. Now, that leads into something that I want to show you, which I'm going to show you actually working. I'm just watching these frames go down. Mind you, it only says I've dropped 5 frames in total, which is not many at all, but I see the signal going into the red. Anyway, so when you're out there surfing, it's kind of dangerous, especially when it's rough seas. Like, we're talking, I can't show you my phone because I'm watching the stream on it. We're talking 2.4 meter swell yesterday from the south, and today 2.2 meter swell from the south. That's considered rough. Now, a lot of surfers use inflatable wetsuits that have a buoyancy vest in them, right? So if you get trapped underneath by a big wipeout, you float to the surface. Now, if you don't have that, Arisen don't make this in their wetsuits, my sponsor for suits, they don't make that. So basically, you do float because my body floats, and you're obviously attached to the leg rope, which is attached to the board, which is on the surface. So automatically, if you take a big wipeout, right, and you're under the water for a while, invariably, if you're upside down, your leg is pointing to the surface, and you can almost grab the leg rope and feel your way to the surface if you need to. And I've never really had to do that, but it is a way to do it. Of course, if you take a nasty wipeout and your leg rope snaps, well, then you don't really know where you are and you're tumbling around. There's a product here that I've got that I want to kind of like, well, I'm going to be doing a proper review of this, and I'm going to do it as part of a wave a day, but I'm going to do it when the ocean is small enough to actually do it. Right now, it's too big out there. The product is called Rest Tube. I've got 4 of them here with me. I want to show you which version. I'm going to show you the sport version. The sports version is the one I'm going to show you right here. Now, what this is a product that sits on your hip. It's only about this big in totes, and it sits on your hip around the waist. And basically, you can trigger it by pulling it. And what it is it's an inflatable tube, a life buoyancy vest, right? And it sits there nice and you can probably even put it on your back, on the lower part of your back, so you don't even know it's there. But if you do get in a situation and you're out of your depth and you're under the water and all shit's broken loose, pop the little tag, and bam, this thing pops out, and it's got a cartridge in there, and it inflates, and it pops out with air, and it floats you to the surface. So there's a bunch of varieties here. I've got the swim one, which you can swim with. This is the classic one. This is kind of like a little bit larger. The sports one is legitimately made for surfers. There's also a really, really cool one here called the automatic one. Now, this one you might say, what's this intended for? An automatic life buoyancy? Well, this is specifically for things like drones. When you're flying over water and something goes wrong and the drone falls into the ocean, the moment this thing touches liquid, it inflates. So yes, you probably still mess your drone up if it's salt water, but at least it doesn't sink. That's what that one's for. Now, ResTube is a German manufacturer that I'm working with for a review, but like I said, this is just a preliminary sort of showing you what the process is and how it sort of... That one fell on the ground. So did that one. So did that one. So did that one. They all fell on the ground. The first one fell, and I knocked the other three off to be even. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a full-blown review of that in the water, but I'm going to do it... You know those days when there's no swell, and it's like, I got to get a wave here. How can I get a wave? There aren't any. Well, that's when I'm going to showcase... Like, I'm going to pop a couple of those underwater and show you how it all works. But at this point, it ain't happening when it's 2.4 meter rough swells, I can tell you now. Even though I think I need one on me when I'm surfing. In the chat Benny Crawford says, interesting. Yeah, I think there's a couple of wetsuit manufacturers. I know Jamie O'Brien, Buell, he has an inflatable one, but there's a few out there. Do you think a rest tube will be suitable for snorkeling? Absolutely, Michael. The classic, this one here, the classic is totally for snorkeling. This is for people, is a guy swimming right there? This is for people who are comfortable in the water, like comfortable in the water, but not competent swimmers. You need a little bit of extra buoyancy. This thing, you can rest it across your chest, and you just go for good. And by the way, you don't have to use the cartridge to inflate them. You can blow them up with your own breath. But if you're surfing, you probably need the cartridge, underwater and whatever. You pop it, the cartridge fills it up, and you're good to go. But you can blow them up, then you can obviously deflate them. And they take the same cartridges that use cream, like whipped cream canisters and whatnot. You buy them for $1 or $10 or something, whatever they are. But yes, absolutely for snorkeling. But look, I'm going to jump into the Discord myself. I'm in the YouTube call-in line. I'm in there. Am I in the right one right now? Yeah, I'm in the Gives a Minute YouTube call-in line. We're going to talk about the topic. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to jump in. I don't know how this is going to work. I've never done it I've never loaded Discord into my streaming computer at the back behind Wirecast and had the audio feed in correctly. So this is a test. I'll pop the Discord chat invite in the chat again. If you want to jump in, you're welcome to join a voice conversation here about the topic, because we're going to move into that right now. So the topic was, why does Casey Neistat and big name YouTubers of the same ilk never live stream on YouTube? Now, I did put up a tweet here. Let me show you the tweet I made. This was my Twitter account, and I had a genuine question. Why does Casey, and I tagged him, one of the biggest names on the platform, never live stream on YouTube? Now, I'm no one on Twitter, and so Mr. Neistat obviously did not respond to that. But Brocknex did, and Barry's Views did, and Xander Round did. So thank you for the responses, guys. Brocknex says he's too busy, question mark. And I think that's in reference to him not doing anything these days. Mind you, he's done enough to cover himself for the rest of his days, right? So he could do literally nothing and still not need to do anything, but that need and wanting to do something is a different thing. But then I said, to counteract that, I said live is generally quicker and less time consuming than editing a vlog, which we've seen that argument from a bunch of people, particularly Danny Black would say always, I'd rather do a live stream because I don't have to go and do anything afterwards. Yeah, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I still think there's a lot of pre-production for a live stream. I sure as hell know I do a lot of pre-production for a live stream. Barry's View says maybe he doesn't know how to use OBS. I liked that, but I don't agree with it because Mr. Neistat would certainly know how to use streaming software. But Xander then said nobody knows how to use OBS. That's it. He nailed it. So look, that tweet got what, 1 like. How many retweets? Are they retweets? They're just comments. They're not even retweets. So that tweet went nowhere, and that's because I'm nobody, right? Put you back over there. I'm nobody, but the question still remains, and I think it's a valid question, even if nobody asks it, aka gives a minute. Why do we think that they don't live stream? Like, we've seen Casey Neistat do a live stream with Logan Paul. We've seen him do a live stream with the head of communications from YouTube. Hang on, did I say live stream? We've seen Casey Neistat do interviews with Logan Paul and this head of communications. And those kind of sit down interviews where Casey even said, this is an open-ended conversation. We've already clarified, like before he begins, he says, I want you to know that this is unscripted. I've been told I can ask both these people, Logan and this YouTube gentleman, I can ask them anything. So we can really get in deep here and ask some very, very integral questions that I'm sure a lot of creators have. In my mind, why not make that a live stream then? Why not have a live chat, which obviously would need to be moderated to the tilt because Casey Neistat with his, he's got 8 million subscribers or whatever it is, his chat would be flipping along. So you'd need 100 moderators or whatever it would be. Faffy Day, hey dude. Hey Faffy Day, got any thoughts on this? Why Casey Neistat does not live stream? So if he had a moderating chat, there could be the opportunity for people that really, really want to know a question from Logan or from this YouTube gentleman, ask the question. Casey Neistat at that point would just be the pipeline to the person, right? We as a viewer, you probably never have a direct pipeline to Logan Paul or to this YouTube gentleman, but we had Casey Neistat as that feeding pipeline. Why was that not a live stream? When YouTube always promote live, they always say, live this, you've got to get on the live stream. It's a way to engage your audience, way to interact, way to monetize your content better than what we can do. Get in there and go live. Well, why the hell is Casey not doing it? I'm going to double check the Discord to make sure it's not working. Well, I'm there, but no one else is in there. Okay, so if no one else wants to jump in, then I'll jump back out. But I am in there, I believe. I am in there. Yeah, I'm in there. I'm just thinking no one else is in there right now. That's cool. I thought this was going to be a little test to see if it would work. So we'll just leave it at that. Well, I'll stay in there, but we'll just leave it there for the point being. The link works. The come chat with us link works. So the question is, oh, I hear something. That was strange.
Can you hear me?
Whoa, Mindy, I can hear you. Awesome. I see Mindy there. I'm going to just drop your volume slightly. You should still be good to do what you're doing. How are you going, Mindy?
I'm good.
Well, it's nice to hear your voice again.
I was just going to say maybe Casey is too busy traveling and spending his money to do live streaming.
Yeah, okay. Maybe he's too busy now traveling and spending the money that he's earned. Yeah, that's true. I wonder why he's never done it in the past though. Like we never saw a live stream from his studio there in New York City. Now I understand he's moved to LA now. Maybe we could get some West Coast live streams. I don't know. Like, I mean, if he's there spending his money and doing nothing, that would open up more time for live streaming. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, to me it seems as though if they're so famous on YouTube or any other platform, sometimes they don't feel a need to connect with their subscribers or their viewers.
This is very true. There's no real need to connect. Yeah, okay. Interesting, isn't it? It's like the notion of doing a live stream for someone like me is the only way throughout the week, really, that I can, like right now, we're one-on-one engaging. And throughout the week in the chat, in the comments, it's just me kind of answering. Often people will come in and make a comment and then I'll reply with an answer, but then you'll never get another comment. The conversation kind of ends. So I guess at the level that Casey and even bigger names, I mean, Logan Paul has his podcast, but you never see Logan Paul on his channel go live. You never see Jake Paul go live on their channel. Are you
Right.
suggesting they don't need to do that at all?
Right. Or they feel as though they don't need to. Like they get enough, they get what they want,
Huh.
and they're not interested in giving back, and they're not interested in giving that connection to their viewers.
Very true. Very true. I mean, funnily enough, that's a great point to interject with. This is a two-way street, and we're all givers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to make that definition that there's never going to be a point where I say to my audience, I don't want to hear from you for whatever the reason. You're always welcome to chat on this channel, and I don't know how big this channel will ever get, but I'm never going to change that. So if people like even like Jeffree Star and like Shane Dawson, they just don't have they just avoid it. They avoid the live streams. It's almost like there's an unspoken of rule that if you get to a certain stage, you don't live stream. Very, very strange.
I just wonder if maybe they get into it for totally different reasons. I mean, you like the community part of it. Some people just see it maybe initially as an investment, and then when it pays off, they're like, okay, I'm in there, and no further effort is needed, and they don't as a way to connect. You just have a natural affinity to make connections.
Well, thank you. And yes, I agree. Like the idea behind Gives a Minute was initially to have a channel where I could put up content that I'd already created. I've been doing the vlog thing for years, but never knew that YouTube really existed for that. But then I realized that this is the way that the comments were coming in, the way that people were engaging. It's like, well, this is an audience that's now, it sounds like almost selfish, but it's my audience that I've made, and I really want to engage that audience.
Right.
Yeah. So I think there's a big separation between my audience and the audience of, say, someone like Casey Neistat. And if I could sort of relate that to someone a little less larger than him, say someone under 100,000 subscribers, this gentleman I watch, Ben Gravy, a surfer from New Jersey, he doesn't live stream, but he does do live Instagram content. And that's kind of the same, but I'm just going back on that comment that I think Paula made about Casey opening that app Beam, which was a live app. Maybe that frightened him off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with those channels to really. I mean, I'm just thinking of the average American that's made it big is, above the people kind of
Right.
persona,
Right. Above. Yeah, that's a sad way to be, isn't it? Above the people.
Yeah.
Okay, what
Absolutely.
about someone that you probably do know? You know Viva Fry, right?
No, I do. I do know Jeffree Star.
Okay. Okay.
Embarrassingly enough.
Okay. So, well, Jeffree Star is arguably untouchable. He's massive. I was going to say Viva Fry because he's just over 100,000 subscribers, but he does live stream, and he's live streamed before he got to 50,000. So he's maintained his. And by the way, that might be how he got from 50 to 100,000, by doing a weekly live stream where he directly answered questions. He's a lawyer turned vlogger. Or a litigator turned vlogger is his phrase. And he does these things called law vlogs, which he calls vlogs, VLAWGS, vlogs, where he talks about the law. And so people are wanting to know this. So for him to have a live platform, it's critical because there's so many questions that people have about cases and law and why one went one way and and so he can answer them. Yeah, maybe that's a really good example of how you can grow an audience by having a live stream. One way, so you can answer them. Oh, someone else is in the chit chat, but they haven't muted their stream. That's a really good example of how you can grow an audience. Is that you, Mindy? Mindy, I can hear the stream coming through you. I just muted you for a second because that's coming back as feedback.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear me?
That's better now. Yeah. Whatever you did then
I
fixed
can't
it.
hear you.
You can't hear me now. That's very strange. I haven't made any changes.
Just a minute. I'll get a new headset.
Yeah, I didn't make any changes. We just heard you doubled up. Okay, we'll just mute Mindy there for a second. Yeah, look, if you want to jump in, folks, there is a chat going on right now. The Discord server is in the linky poo. I see 9 people watching the stream. You're all welcome to jump in here if you wish to. If not, pop your comments in the chat as text. Why do we think that Casey Neistat does not live stream? We've heard from Mindy about that. I know I've got my thoughts on that. I'm never going to stop the live streams here, even if we get to a point where the streams are completely like nobody's here, the streams are nothing, no one's watching. I'm not going to stop. There's always going to be a conversation to be had here, whether that be something I agree with, whether that be something I don't agree with. You're always welcome to have this conversation. Like I say on DLive, this is a two-way street. We're all givers here, right? This is critical to why I began, why I really wanted to do live, is because of this two-way street situation. Now, Mindy's bumped out. That's cool. I'm never gonna... No, there we are. Okay. Mindy, I can't see you there. Hang on a second. I'm going to just... Yeah, I still hear you doubled up, Mindy. Unfortunately. She can hear me now, but I do hear Mindy doubled up. So... Mindy said, okay, no worries, Mindy. Just, yeah, maybe bump out. I don't know what happened there either, but for some reason we were now hearing the stream come through your audio. So if we bump out of there and we don't have to come back in, that's cool. It's all good. Yeah, that's very interesting though. Does anybody else have any conversation to add to that in the chat? Otherwise, we'll have a look. We could cruise through, you know what we could do? We could cruise through here. If I go to... Where are we? If we go to Twitter, maybe...
Hello.
Whoa. I see someone else in the chit-chat now. It's Hendrik. How you going, Hendrik?
Not too bad. How are you?
Very well, man. You don't sound like you're on your Belkin microphone this time.
I most certainly am not.
You're not? What are you on this time?
I'm on a headset.
Well, it's nice to hear your beautiful voice again. What are your thoughts on the topic of conversation?
Well, actually, I have to agree with Mindy. I think he's above everybody. He thinks he's above everybody else.
Okay.
The reason being is he hardly ever if you look at his comments. I've yet to see a reply to a comment on his videos.
Really, he never replies to anybody's comments?
I have not seen one. I mean, I might be wrong, but I have not seen it.
Wow, that's not a cool way to interact with an audience, is it?
Exactly.
Do you feel, Hendrik? Does that change your thoughts on his content at all, or do you still just go back time in time out to go and see what he's doing?
Oh, look, I mean, he put something out last week, and I basically looked at it I got a notification, but I obviously didn't rush to go and see it. But later on, I thought, okay, I might as well look at it and see what's going on.
Right.
But I mean, certainly, I'm in no hurry to watch his content. No.
Right. What was I heard the AVA boys talking about it, but what was your take on the content? Apparently, it's kind of boring. Mark Ensby was saying it's just like any other dude now. He's not living in New York City anymore. He's not with the studio. He's just like a family vlogger, if you like.
Yeah, it was just basically, it was really only because he hadn't posted for what, 4 months or something like that.
Oh, wow. Really?
And, it was basically just saying, okay, this is what's been going on. And that's it.
And what has been going on in his life?
What's been going on? Well, he moved out of New York City. He's in LA, not LA, somewhere in California anyway.
Oh, okay.
He had an injury. He had a broken bone.
He had a broken bone? Oh, okay.
Yeah, broken shoulder bone or something like that. He must have come off a one-wheel, I think it was.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. In the chat, Tim has a good comment. He says, maybe big creators don't like to live stream as they can't edit the final outcome to suit their controlling personal nature, and they may accidentally display a side of themselves they do not wish to be made public. Very, very true. Very true. There's definitely that with the live stream.
Definitely.
I guess
I'd say that.
yeah, so could I. I would say that also is another element to why I get nervous sometimes. Well, on the YouTube anyway, there is a point where you're like, you know what, this is live, and you can't take anything back, and that's critically why you have to be yourself. If you if you try to come out and disguise yourself and portray yourself as someone that you're not, that's going to all unravel, and people are going to see through it. So, in a way, that almost says to us that we haven't actually met Casey Neistat. Doesn't that say that to you?
Oh, absolutely. I agree totally.
It's almost like he's.
So I mean,
go ahead.
we've met a persona, but like we haven't met the actual Casey Neistat.
So what are we subscribing to then?
A persona.
So why is it so likable if it's not even him? It's I'm just spitting chips here, like trying to get deeper on this. Like we don't even know the person yet. We give all of our time to this thing.
Yeah, but do we? You know, I mean, it depends on who you are.
Yeah, true.
You know, if you're a 16-year-old like that goes to VidCon and like is basically screaming for Casey Neistat, then yeah, sure. But like, I mean, I don't think any of us are those people.
Well, you're leading me down a path I don't really want to go down, but blue shirt guy. But yeah, I mean, you said it. I just filled the blanks in. But I'm just like, that's my boy. You know, like we don't have to engage that content if you choose not to. I mean, I made a conscious decision about it's almost been a year now to unsubscribe every single channel on my YouTube on Gives a Minute, so I don't subscribe to anybody.
Yeah.
I've got to say I've changed that and I've started resubscribing channels. One of them that I haven't resubscribed to is Casey Neistat, and the only reason I haven't is because of the initial the way I got unsubbed from him was like one day I'm subbed and the next day I'm not, and I'm like, well, I never unsubbed it, so. The point was, well, wow. YouTube, is this accurate? And if I resub, does that mean he's got 2 subs from me? And that was like me being a stickler for the rules. But I have gone back and resubscribed to Danny's content, AVA's content, and Mark Ensby's content. Those are the first channels I've resubbed back. And I'm kind of thinking, I've done this experiment where YouTube gives you suggested content based on your viewing habits, but it doesn't. It's so interesting to see what it does when you have nothing in your subscription list, because that content it suggests to you is very, very strange. So I had about 10 months of that, and I'm a little bit sick. The reason I changed it is because I don't have that laptop anymore, and I'm literally watching YouTube on my iPad these days, and the iPad app for YouTube is a little bit different to the desktop app, and I don't like the way it lays it out, so I had to go back and do my subscriptions. But yeah, that's a sidetrack note. But the thing I was trying to get to with that comment was, if we're subscribing to a channel, I'm personally subscribing because I want to see that personality of that person. But if you're saying, and I think you're pretty accurate, we don't actually see that personality. For someone like Casey and some of the bigger names, we're seeing a persona. Does that mean that they deserve my subscription? I think they don't, personally.
I agree. So I mean, like I'm still subscribed like for convenience sake, as in like I wanted, well, you could almost say I'm too lazy to unsub. Fair enough.
That's another thing. Yeah, too lazy to sort of fix up the sub feed. That's fair enough. Paula says, who is AVA? AVA is Australia versus America. It's a side channel that, well, they'll argue this, but it's a side channel that was built after CreatorCast was ended, and I was conscious. What's the term? I was definitively left out of the channel. So it's almost like CreatorCast without Ben on.
Yeah.
But mind you, they've been stagnant for quite some time, but they came back with a couple of episodes just recently. And Scotty D has been in my D live stream, which is rad, you know.
It's good to see him there, actually. It's really good to see him there.
Yeah, if we can get Tim Arskog across to D live, then we've won the jackpot, haven't we?
Absolutely. Come on over, Tim.
Come on, Tim, you're missing
Come
out.
on, do it.
Speaking of Tim, he says, like Mindy not live streaming. In post, she's funny, straightforward person, but in reality, Mindy is also a loving, caring, deeply warm-hearted, intelligent, ethical, and loyal lady. Okay, Tim.
Nice words.
Nice wording there.
Nice words coming. Yeah.
We do see that from Mindy, though, even in her content. Like, I don't think Mindy... I mean, this kind of is a live stream for Mindy, if you like. She's interacting live through the chat. So that's kind of like what I'm saying. But what... Hendrik, what do you think it would take for Casey to live stream?
What would it take for him to
Would
live
anything have to happen before Casey would live stream?
Oh, now you've put me on the spot.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's something like, let's just say, I don't know, maybe there was. Far out. What would it be? I mean, would it be an event? Like maybe because he lives on the West Coast now, maybe he hosts an event like a sunset. I don't know, sunset.
It would definitely have to be a community kind of thing. I mean, it could be a community that he's in. So it would probably like involve people like Sam Sheffer and, those kind of people.
Right, a group thing,
yeah, people that like were in the same building, like in New York, the Sarah Dietschys and those kind of people.
Right. So do you feel that then that would be a separate channel that they do that on, or would it go on the Casey Neistat YouTube channel?
Good point. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably do it on a separate channel, to be honest.
You would? A separate channel?
If it was like a combined thing with the other people, then yes, on a separate channel. I'd call it 368.
368. Okay. By the way, Mindy put the comment I was hoping someone would have said. That's what I was thinking the whole way along. Money. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this because it's a business. This is what, for a lot of people, myself included, this is what YouTube is. It's a source of income. So if it was money that dictated it, like let's just say, maybe.
See, this is where I'm not familiar with YouTube enough in the sense that, what's the difference like in monetization, like for live streaming and like normal content, normal video content. Can you can't run ads, for example, like in the middle of your live stream, can you?
You actually can. You can do that. And I was inadvertently I was doing that when I began, and it was oddly enough Mark Ensby who said, "Dude, you probably should turn those ads off because it's a live stream and it really ruins the flow." Which I did straight away. I didn't realize how bad the user experience was with ads on a live stream, but you can. The only way, yeah, totally. You can run pre-roll ads, mid-roll, and post-roll ads on a live stream. But the only way you can really monetize a live stream successfully, more so than you can monetize a pre-recorded content, is through super chats. And that's kind of how YouTube pitched this to smaller creators. If you start engaging one-on-one with your audience on a live stream, they have the opportunity to control the stream and the angle and the...
Well, there you go. I mean, so it can't be money because, somebody like Casey Neistat live streaming, can you imagine the super chats he would
Poured
be
home
getting?
brews or Jack.
It would be insane. It would be out of this world.
I mean, yeah, it would. It would be a huge boon to their hip pocket for certain. Benny Crawford, just with the donation, literally as I spoke about super chats, Benny Crawford with a $12 donation towards home brews or Jacks. Thank you, Benny. Thank you so much, dude. Right on time too. That you couldn't have timed that any better.
So I'm actually on my mobile, so
you didn't
so
see
I
that?
can't see the chat. I
Gotcha.
can't see the chat.
Gotcha.
If I bump it, if I go back into YouTube, you get an echo.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Benny, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you. And that is probably the ultimate way we can conclude this. It's a monetary thing for Casey. If the money was there in terms of endorsements for some kind of thing, like some kind of event, then I'm sure we'd see, come join me, Casey Neistat, on a live stream. And maybe it'd be behind a paywall as well, like the boxing matches are behind a paywall. Maybe, we don't know.
Oh.
Yeah,
That would. I mean, if that were to happen, that would turn me right off, and I would actually unsub.
Oh wow, okay. So if Casey did a live stream and it was behind a paywall, you'd unsub.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay.
Straight away.
Wow.
Away.
Okay. I would probably watch it through some other means if I really wanted to see it. I wouldn't be paying Casey for it, but I'd try to watch it. I guess it's a similar thing to the boxing stuff. I don't really care for the boxing. I don't really want to watch it, but I'm just interested to see how it all rolls out. And usually you get that from Keemstar Drama Alert anyway, right? So you don't even have to watch it. You just get the wrap up if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting stuff. Hendrik, speaking of wrapping up, I'm going to have to wrap this up with you right now. But I appreciate you calling in and Mindy calling in. I can hear my outro music rolling though. It's been a wonderful stream, folks. I want to say thank you again for the donation from Benny Crawford. Thanks everybody for the great conversation. We'll see you all again next week, same time for more hijinks on YouTube.
Oh, that's we're out of time.